Welcome in, everybody. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is All in the Charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Drop me a comment. You have to click the bell icon to know when I go live for notifications. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and even TradingView. Just one word. It's Crypto Bull God. So for those who are not giving me a follow on Twitter, I just shot out a note today that I wasn't on the live stream. This is a daily live stream, Monday through Fridays. I wasn't on yesterday. Unexpectedly had a really bad reaction to something I ate. And that's about as violently sick as I have ever gotten in my life that I can recall. So not a pleasant night yesterday, or evening yesterday. But welcome in, Alex. Starting to feel like myself. I think by tomorrow I'll be myself. But you know how that is if you've ever gotten sick from something. The day after is not the most pleasant of things. So, but I wanted to come back on today. I was debating if I could fit this in. I worked a little bit late today. Worked a half day and logged on pretty late. So, but what I wanted to do today, this is going to be a little bit of a quicker live stream, but we just closed out last week. Traditionally on Mondays, what I'll do is I'll take a look at a lot of key weekly views. So I think for thank you, Alex. I think for today's live stream, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to try to hit on a few key charts. Maybe I'll take a question or two. But I really will put a lot more into tomorrow's stream. But I think it is still important that we kind of take a look at a few charts today just to kind of assess where we're at in the market. And I see a lot of people, we have this price action going on and we're getting some deeper corrections in a lot of altcoins. And there's just a lot of, you can very much feel very quickly the sentiment sort of shift, and people are becoming a little complacent, a little irritated by some of the corrections. But there's nothing fundamentally that has changed within the charts, right? So let's kind of dig into that, and let me clearly convey to you why that's the point. So the first thing I want to point out to you, this is a Bitcoin 12-hour chart. Appreciate the thumbs up and support, everyone. If you appreciate the fact that I was throwing up my guts last night, and I'm back on the live stream today, give a motherfucking thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. YC, thank you. I appreciate that. Anyway, one of the things I was trying to convey on here, I had tweeted this out yesterday, was I asked the question. Now, there is a lot of clutter here. I could clean this up by simply doing that. There's a lot of clutter here, but if you focus on the blue arrow, the question I asked to Twitter is, why are you selling here? Why would you be selling? There's a couple different ways that you can draw this, but the emphasis is higher lows and higher highs, right? And I had this actually drawn over here, but technically the lowest low is for right now right there, okay? The point is when you're able to zoom out like this and look at this picture, you're not trapping yourself where you're getting caught up in all this chop. The perspective here is we moved from 15, 16,000 all the way up to over 30,000 in the matter of a couple months, okay? So the fact that we're consolidating like this is not surprising. It's not shocking. One of the things that I've continued to repeat on this channel, and I'll say it over and over and over again, the more in the early phases of this year and even mid-year, we can continue to gradually build those stair steps up, okay, in price for Bitcoin. What that's going to help support is a parabola at some point, I still believe this year, a parabola that's at a higher price level, right? We don't want the parabola to start at 21,000. If the parabola starts at 21,000, it's going to finish earlier than we'd want in terms of price appreciation. But if we can continue to build stair steps up to say 40, 50, 60,000 and then start to enter our parabola, our real parabola, that is really what you want to see. So one of the other things I would point out on this chart, I have a couple areas of price confluence drawn here. Let's actually just focus on the 50 and 200 as we traditionally do on this channel and 12-hour chart. Appreciate the thumbs up to everyone new tuning in. Duncan, DT, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in the live stream in a bit. Really good to see you. Thank you. I'm definitely doing better than I was 24 hours ago. That's for sure. So one of the things I wanted to point out on this chart, kind of want to hit home on this so everybody doesn't lose track of this. I've been saying this for the past couple weeks, everyone is calling for the $25,000 area. Now, I've said a couple things about the $25,000 area. First off, I said to keep an eye on this 200 simple moving average as it's continued to move up. And we were in, you know, at the time I spoke to that, when people were calling for 25,000, I think we might have been down here at like 23,000 or 22,000. We've since moved all the way up to essentially 26,000 on the 200. And I've spoken to the fact that when Bitcoin is truly entering a bullish phase of its cycle, and we're really going to entertain new all-time highs, what typically likes to happen is this sort of price action where we will, historically, it's just using history as a precedent for what's happened in the past. We at times, what will happen with price is it'll continue moving up and staying above the 200. And then at some point it likes to come down and touch or get really close or even go a little bit below. It doesn't stay there long though. The 200 almost serves as a launch pad at that point, and then it just continues going up, okay? So the fact that the 200 is at 26,000 does give credence that we could wick below there, and this could be an area of support before we continue moving up. That is certainly a possibility. However, the larger possibility, which I've been on record saying now for a couple weeks, is we're never going to see the $25,000 area. Okay, I have an area of price confluence at 26.5 and roughly 27.5, or 20. It looks like 27.6, 27.5. No, 27.5. Okay, and right now we're hugging this 27.5 line. I suspect this area right around 26.5 will be an area of price confluence. Also, this 200 is going to continue. It's starting to lose momentum, but it's going to continue moving up. I don't think we're going to breach the $26,000 area. In fact, we could start even moving up here. We could have already gotten our low. Bottom line is, don't lose sight that what I'm calling for, or not what I'm calling for, but my opinion on not hitting 25,000, this is a shorter term call on my part. It does, even if we hit 25,000, it doesn't change my higher time frame perspective. And this is the higher time frame perspective, okay? This is a weekly view, all right? Now, not surprisingly, again, this red zone of resistance, you can see, I've spoken to this fact that when we got up here, more than likely, because there's a great degree of confluence between 28.8 and 31.8, or we just like to round the numbers and say 29 to 32, right? So right in that $29,000 to $32,000 range, because there's a lot of price confluence, and we're below that price confluence, it's going to act as an area of resistance. This is going to be heavy resistance. It's going to take us a little, I said it would take us a little bit of time, more than likely, to break up, right? So that's all we're seeing right now. We're literally just seeing consolidation. There's nothing unhealthy about what's going on. I'm still targeting this zone by mid to late June to get up to. This zone is between 35.5 to 43. I really want to see price levels begin to push up into this area. I don't want to be chopping around here in June, July, because that, to me, puts into serious doubt about an all-time high being created this year, right? So I do want prices to begin to push up over the course of the next, month and a half here. So we'll just have to keep an eye on it, but everything looks fine. Let's see how the price indicators look. The stochastic RSI is beginning to flatten out. It looks like if we can get a decent weekly close this week, we could get a cross up in the stochastic RSI, which is great. It's above 20. That's good. RSI is at a very healthy level, 58. MACD's running out of a little bit of momentum, but it's still well above zero, and it still looks very bullish, so no concerns there. We'll take a look at a couple other charts here. Yeah, we'll have to see YC, I know, and that's definitely something I've been incorrect about so far, the pattern that I spoke to, the descending triangle. It was a valid pattern, the many months that I drew it out and spoke to it, but it's one of those things where if you can appreciate what I'm saying, every pattern we draw out, everything we look at in a chart. What's up, Brian? What's going on, brother? Everything we draw out, every pattern has a probability associated with it, right? So there are, even though I properly identified a descending triangle, it wasn't a 100% probability that it was going to play out. Clearly it hasn't. So we'll have to see what happens with Bitcoin dominance. Quick update on ACH. I just wanted to share this chart with everyone. Now, one of the things I spoke to with ACH, this is on a 12-hour. One of the things I spoke to with ACH, I said, all right, we were up in this area. And I said, really, there's only three scenarios. One, We're going to dip down here and create, a higher low somewhere up here, right? A higher low. Or we're going to come down here and essentially double bottom, which is what we're doing right now. Or we're going to go lower, okay? And we're going to start to enter potentially this zone between 2.2 and 1.82 cents. I don't think greedily is a word, but in a greedy way, I do want it to create a new low relative to this low here. I really want to get in this massive golden pocket because I've shared with you guys the second half of my sign-on bonus is coming next week. So if the timing can work out well, I've been looking at several alt projects to go into. This might be the one that I put a significant amount in because we'd be in this massive golden zone I've been speaking to since way back here in mid to late February, late February. So that was what, 2.5 months ago. So we'll have to see if that plays out, but nothing unhealthy about Alchemy. It moved from less than a penny up to 5.1. It did a 5x. It's just cooling off. It's trying to consolidate and find a base before it can continue moving up. So nothing surprising or alarming. UMA finally had its breakout here. I don't think this is the end of the breakout. I'm still targeting an area. You can see we actually hit this 0.236 fib retracement level, but I'm really targeting something closer to this 0.382 fib retracement level, which I've been on record saying. So that's at 540. So anywhere between 450 to all the way up past $8 is where I see it initially topping out before we see a rather large correction before we continue moving up. So just keep an eye on UMA. It finally had its break where we sustained price action for a couple days there above $3. So good to see. This is one of those trades I've been speaking about for a while that I said took a long time to play out. Let's take a look at Ethereum. What do we got? Price indicators. Again, similar to Bitcoin, the stochastic RSI, it's above 20. It's flattening out with this current weekly candle. It looks like some momentum wants to come back in if we can close positive and get that stochastic RSI to cross up. RSI is very healthy. You can't really see it right here, but it's at 56, very healthy level. And the MACD, very similar to Bitcoin, losing a little momentum, but well above zero, and it's positive, so nothing alarming. Again, for me, when I look at this chart, again, just given the prior area of price confluence, it's not surprising to see we've sort of gotten in between this zone. I mean, really the main thing for Ethereum is I just don't want it to start dropping below 1,800, because if we start, the more we start to entertain areas below 1,800, the more we're going to want to come back down here to that $1,400 area, and I really don't want to see that happen. Looks like there's another area of price confluence around 1,530. So yeah, again, we could get a price wick that goes below 1,800, but the name of the game here on a weekly basis for Ethereum is just maintain price levels at 1,800, and ultimately let's continue consolidating in this area. And then essentially we want to, as we're consolidating, we're waiting for that next leg up, the momentum for the next leg up towards 2,800 and above. That's what we're waiting for in Ethereum. Let's zoom out here. Let's take a look at a weekly close on the total market cap. I haven't had a chance to chart today, so this is the first time I'm looking at these charts with you, so you're getting my true, real reaction as we're looking at this together. Now, first off, price action. Let's focus on price action as that's king. Looks like there's an area of resistance here at about 1.17 trillion. I know we've spoken to that area of resistance before. You can see that we're sort of just gravitating in that area there. I'm just clearly drawing out what the price confluence is. You can see we tapped it at these sections. Once we broke below it, this 1.17 we're going to call it, we tried to tap above it here and we couldn't get above it. Tried to tap above it, keep tapping it, got above it temporarily and broke back down. So really on the total, we just want to get back up above 1.17 trillion. Again, getting above 1.6 is where things are really going to start to get interesting. That's what you want to keep an eye on. As far as price indicators, same sort of comments on the MACD as Ethereum and Bitcoin. Same for RSI, stochastic RSI, same thing. And it's not surprising. So a lot of this should make sense. Thank you, Cassius. I appreciate the positive feedback. I had a great weekend. No complaints on the weekend. Just just some unnecessary excessive vomiting last night. But had a great weekend. I hope you did too. This should intuitively make sense if there's some similarities that are presenting themselves in the total market cap to Bitcoin and Ethereum. It should make sense why that is the case. And that is because Bitcoin makes up what, 46% of the market cap, and Ethereum makes up, let's actually check that out. What does Ethereum make up? I don't know what percentage of the market cap. Let's look at a blank chart. And let's look at Ethereum dominance. I haven't looked at this with you guys before. Oh, wow. So Ethereum, that makes sense because it's about half the market cap. We can take a look at FET. That's a good call out. So Ethereum makes up 20%, right? So if you take the 46% from Bitcoin, you add the 20% from Ethereum, that's 66% or 2/3 of the market. So when you're looking at this chart, I mean, really think about this. It's a really good observation, actually. When you're looking at this chart, the relative health of this, the chemical makeup, how it appears, 2/3 of this view is made up by Bitcoin and Ethereum. The other 1/3 are all the other altcoins, right? It's a hodgepodge of everything else. So it would make sense intuitively that a lot of the narratives that present themselves on this chart are consistent with both Bitcoin and Ethereum, since those two charts make up 2/3 of this chart, okay? Brian had a comment on FetchAI. We can certainly take a look at that. It's a good call out that said the try to find alts that don't look like complete death. FET is a decent one. Yeah, FET, I had this flag drawn that has since broken down. Maybe we're getting some form of a broadening wedge here. If this is a broadening wedge, you could draw it like that. You can see it actually starts more narrow here and then gets wider. This is actually bullish. Typically, you get a break to the upside here. You might get a back test of this prior descending area of resistance. We've spoken about that plenty of times. And then a continued move up. But FetchAI, this one's looking decent. This is on, excuse me. This is on the weekly. Now we've gotten across down in the MACD. You can see the bearish momentum picking up here. So we want to see a turnaround there. Stochastic RSI has bottomed. It's flattened. We want to see that curl up. It's got plenty of room to run to the upside. It's got to get above that 20 trigger line. RSI is a little oversold neutral. It's at 47. But looking at price data here, where would be some areas of support? Let's get this broad wedge off of here. So this is FetchAI. Good call out, Brian. You said the 1 day and 3 day do. Why do you say? We'll look at the 3 day. Actually, the nice thing about the 3 day is it'll give us greater areas of price confluence, so we can draw some areas of support here. A clear area of support I don't want to see get breached is right around this area here. Green is for support. Red is for resistance. So we're going to call this 17.3 cents. We're just going to round it right there. So around 17.3 cents is a region of support. Another clear area of support on FetchAI would be right around there. And again, these are price zones. I'm not trying to get too cute with the price, okay? I'm drawing this at, it looks like 20 cents, okay? Someone else might draw this at 19.8 and someone else might draw it at 20.2. The point is you get comfortable with some general areas of price confluence for support and resistance, okay? Don't want to get too cute. And I always say this, in particular, you don't want to get too cute because there's a lot of volatility that presents itself in this market, especially in these altcoins. The smaller and smaller you get in market capitalization. Now, this has a decent market cap. I believe it's, what, around 100? I'm not going to check. It's somewhere around 100. But the point is it still has a lot of volatility associated with it. So ultimately, the area of support I want to see hold on ticker symbol FET, FetchAI. Appreciate it. Thumbs up, everyone new tuning in. I would appreciate the support. I want to see 17.3 cents to 20 cents hold on FetchAI. Okay, this is the area of support. Now, where are we going to run into some problem spots? When we start running up in price, where can we expect to hit on some resistance? And again, I'm not getting too cute here. This looks like 48 cents, okay? Let's just round it down, 48 cents. So 48 cents looks like an area of resistance, another clear area of resistance I can see. This is the main zone I want to clear. So this is between 41 and 48 cents, okay? That's the main area on FetchAI I want to clear, all right? So, you know, we can bounce, we can come all the way down here, that's fine, but we're going to start to run into problems here. You can obviously see this huge wick here, which coincides with some price action. But the next main area, yes, there is a wick right there, but actually the next main area I would draw would be, well, that actually does coincide. That's a good call out right there. So, yeah, the next main area is going to be right around, okay, once we clear the 41 to 48 cent area on FetchAI, the next area is going to be between 60 and 65 cents, okay? But FetchAI is looking very strong right now. It's not far from all-time highs, right? All-time highs were at $1.27, okay? $1.27 back in the summer of fall of 2021. So we're not far off from there relative to a lot of other alt projects, like Brian points out. You know, as much as I love HBAR or Harmony or Decentraland, if you look at their percentage, if you look at their price as a percentage of their prior all-time high, very low. This one's a lot higher, okay? Ethereum, a lot higher. Bitcoin, a lot higher. So showing a lot of strength here in the price. Other charts. Why don't we really quickly, and I'll take one more charting question. If anybody has anything they'd like me to chart, keep in mind, I know today's live stream is a lot shorter. It's just based on how I feel. Just wanted to get something out there and at least look at some charts. Tomorrow will be a typical live stream, right? Plenty of time for Q&A. I don't want to shortchange anyone, and I do apologize. But I will be back full speed ahead tomorrow. So could you share with me, guys, if you have one more charting question? If not, we'll sign out. But I wanted to at least take a look at the S&P first. Because you do know, I've stated this, that we do need the stock market to perform well. We need it to perform well. Because crypto is a risk-on asset. Crypto has not shown us the ability to completely diverge from the stock market. Okay, it's a risk-on asset. And I think it's a good, interesting, thought-provoking subject to speak about. But crypto in itself, the more it matures, in many ways it will be like the stock market, that you'll have a greater level of indices relative within the crypto industry, that I could view certain sectors of crypto operating poorer or better at different times during the year based on what's going on. We're not there yet. Crypto is just one broad asset class that is highly correlated to the stock market. So right now, nothing really to report on the stock market. Everything is just status quo. It doesn't look like there's any excitement coming in here in the market one way or the other, moves to the downside or upside. Everything looks relatively stable at the moment. On the weekly, we're above the blue line, which is important. That's the 21 exponential moving average. Very good to see. I've spoken about that plenty of times. The 43.25 level continues. This is the level right here. We're going to mark it as orange. The 43.25 level continues to be my main level that I want to see breached, okay? So ideally what I want to see over the next coming handful of weeks here going into June, I want to break this level here around 4,200 and start to push up to 43.25. Once we get a candle body close above 43.25, like I said, have a small glass of champagne, very small glass, because it's premature to say that we're going to set new all-time highs. We still have a lot more work to do. But it at least increases the likelihood a lot. It does increase the likelihood a lot that we are going to start to head towards new all-time highs. Next level after 43.25 would be this area here, about 4,600. So S&P looks fine as it is. We'll have to see how the week closes out. Key thing here, number one thing, let's just make sure we're keeping these candle body closes above the 21 exponential moving average. This exponential moving average, the way it's working right now and being calculated, sort of chopping around here, but it's sort of coming up in value. The more price gravitates in this area, it's just going to come up here and sort of flatten out. We need price to push up for this exponential moving average to push up. And actually, that's something important that I should point out to you. The key difference, if you're not familiar, Thank you for the question, Cassius. We're going to chart that next. NXRA. The key difference, if you don't know, between a simple moving average and an exponential moving average is that a simple moving average is just a straight average, right? So if you have a 10 simple moving average, it's the average of the prior 10 candlesticks. What's the price? Exponential moving average is calculated a little bit differently. That average value has more weight that's placed on more recent experience, okay? It's almost like a weighted average. It is a weighted average, actually. It's a weighted average that puts more weight on the more recent price action, okay? So that's the difference between an exponential and a simple moving average. Let's take a look at the question that Cassius asked. Oh, I already have this up. I have a blank chart, so I don't think we've charted this one. This doesn't sound familiar to me. So thank you for asking the question. Whoa, holy shit, what is going on here? So I'm unfamiliar with this project. What the hell happened today on this thing? What is the ranking on this thing? This has to be a very illiquid asset, I would assume. Very small market cap. 435, huh? Well, this is, let's look at what exchange we're on. We're on, maybe it's the exchange that I'm on. I'm on Bitfinex. Okay, is there another exchange I can use? Okay, there we go. So actually, now that we're charting this on KuCoin, we can actually see, we've charted this one before. Okay, so, okay, it was Albit previously. Okay, so thank you for the question. This is one we've taken a look at before. Now, I pointed out an area of support right here. This is on the daily, okay? You can see I have an area of support right around 6.21 cents. Now that we're starting to breach that level, it really is a zone. Let's get a little bit more comfortable with what area of support we want to see hold. I mean, ultimately, we tapped it. Did we tap that perfectly? Wow. And they say charting doesn't work. I mean, that's essentially 6 cents. We're just going to round that. Yeah, so, and right now, and we tapped it. I mean, we want as low as 6 cents. Look at that. So really, what I don't want to see, I don't want to see daily candle closes below 6 cents. I know we had 6.2. We just used a nice round figure. You get a little bit more closer with the data. You can see it's a price zone. If we start to close below 6 cents, you're inviting a lot of volatility to the downside, okay? You know, you could push down to 5 cents. You know, you could push as low as 4.7 and even, you know, lower than that. So we really want to try to stay above 6 cents. Is there any bullish divergence or anything that's coming into the market? No, MACD looks horrendously bad. Stochastic RSI is flattened out. It's at 0 below 20. There's no momentum in the stock. RSI is at 38. It's oversold. There's no bullish divergence. Is there a bullish divergence on the 4-hour? So sometimes what you like to do when we look at this daily chart, and this doesn't look good. I don't like what I'm looking at in this chart, okay? But even though I don't see bullish divergence on the RSI on the daily, if you can go to a lower time frame like a 4-hour, that can give you sometimes a leading indicator that there is some bullish momentum beginning to pick up in the price and it's becoming oversold. There's seller exhaustion on lower time frames. I'm not seeing that, however. So I'll go to the hour and that'll be it. Okay, now on the hour, what you can see, and by the way, the bullish divergence doesn't need to play out. It's just one thing that traders commonly look for, okay? You can see, okay, there is bullish divergence. Okay, the RSI is increasing. See how the RSI is increasing in value? But what is the price doing? Price was here, so it's been declining in value, right? So on the hour chart, there is some bullish divergence. You know, we could see a little pop up here, but I'd be very careful with this one. I'm not familiar with the project. I just know this thing is in a massive downtrend. I've drawn out all the other areas of support and resistance here. It looks like we were all the way up there when we drew this last, because that was drawn as an area of support. There's definitely some heavy downward resistance here. You can see that, like that. And the reason I drew it like this is because we have all these wicks. It's not going through any bodies, right? I can't draw this. I can't do this because it goes through the body of these candles. You can draw it like this. You could draw it like this. It can go through all the wicks. It just can't go through the bodies. You could have a somewhat of a falling wedge here, maybe, but I'm not crazy about this chart. Not crazy about it. We'll have to see if 6 cents holds, and then you have these other areas of resistance up here towards 7 in this 7 cent area, really. Good question. What's up, Angry 8? Good to see you. So guys, that's going to be it for today's live stream. I just wanted to come out and kind of assess the charts. I know there's a lot of, I just get the sense that there's a lot of impatience. And what I'm trying to do is present these charts to you, in particular Bitcoin, 3.5 cents. Good call. Then you're doing fine. What I'm trying to do is present these charts to you in a way that keeps you level-headed, right? Because what I view my responsibility is as a influencer on YouTube, what I view my responsibility as, yeah, that's a better way to put that. What I view my responsibility as is to communicate things to you in a clear and coherent manner and exercise logic, right? Then it's up to you to do what you want with the information, right? This is just another data point, as I always like to say, right? You have to do your own individual analysis. But I'm hoping that by all the charts we took a look at, in particular the Bitcoin, the Ethereum, the weekly, even the 12-hour, it gives you context and leaves you feeling like, hey, in the big picture here, there's nothing to be alarmed about. Things are just consolidating. We'll definitely take a look at a lot of other charts tomorrow. We'll have a lot more time tomorrow. We can go 40, 45 minutes. Today was 30 minutes. I'm going to cut it a little short with how I'm feeling, but I should be back full speed tomorrow. So I appreciate everyone tuning in. If you appreciated the content, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. You click the bell icon for notifications to know when I go live. Make sure you share the video with at least one person. And until next time, spread awareness. Carry the education forward, everybody. Take care of yourself.